I'm gonna look at all the log stuff. So there's these voice logs, which we can listen to. I believe the ones that sound, that make music, noise, that they automatically play most of the time, don't they? Yeah, this is like what the AI tells me. This is all sound stuff that... But yeah, the rest... Okay, all of these were the ones that we've heard, so we don't need to listen to those. What we do need to have a look at, though, are these PDAs. I don't know if we need to look at all of these. I don't think I'll go through all the plants and stuff like that. But the PDAs to do with the story. Data downloads. That'll be interesting stuff. Blueprints. This is just for... Okay, these are just literally blueprints. Okay, we've got advanced theories and data downloads. I'll look at the advanced theories just because there's only 2 of them first. We've got alien eggs. Evidence suggests that a substantial number, if not all of the local species, reproduce through egg laying. Eggs can be found nesting on the seafloor, buried beneath detritus? Detritus. Never heard that word before. Or even wedged into cracks in the rock. Different species likely favor different biomes as their nesting grounds. Eggs discovered in the wild are in some form of natural stasis, likely awaiting ideal conditions in which to hatch, or the delivery of some vital enzyme which will kickstart the process. Okay, well that's an interesting... right there. That directly links into stuff that's for the later story. So yeah, that is definitely... There's a reason it's under the advanced theories thing. It is impossible to calculate the species of the egg from the exterior. However, it may be possible to stimulate a hatching response if an egg is relocated to a suitable alien containment unit. Right, yeah. So a lot of the eggs you'll see are just like dormant, and then if you take them into an alien, like an alien habitat, for instance, they'll start growing. Specimen with symptoms of infection. Oh, right, this is the Kara thing. This organism is displaying signs of a bacterial infection. Bright green blisters are forming networks around the infection sites. Pathology suggests a waterborne bacterium capable of penetrating the body through the skin and respiratory system. Underlying indications of genetic mutation and aggressive behavior. Right, I see. Yeah, the bacterium itself is unlike any so far recorded in human exploration. May be contagious, avoid. Do not, under any circumstance, consume the flesh. Yeah. I didn't do that, but I'm still infected. Okay, so we'll go through... I'll just go through in direct order of these. So we've got... actually, no, I won't. No, I won't. Public documents. Documents, sorry. Oh, we had a look at this at one point. This is... Yeah, this is for some... This is some pamphlet. This is related to backstory stuff. Altera Arms pamphlet. Charity is an archaic concept which the realism of today's Alterans has rendered obsolete. We understand that we are each responsible for ourselves, but the best way to get the most for ourselves is to work together with Altera. The implication of this reasoning is clear. If someone is in need, they must find a way to be needed. Right, I see. Yeah. I get it. I don't think that'll ever be the case in our reality, but... Altera Alms is a training academy for those that need to be needed. Right, I see. We're not a charity because we don't ask for handouts. We prefer to think of ourselves as a philanthropic beneficence facilitation service. A philanthropic benevolence... philanthropic beneficence... Philanthropic beneficence facilitation service, promoting synergy between employer and workforce. Try saying that fast 3 times, or 6 times, or whatever. Stupid saying. AA operates on a lottery system. By investing any number of credits, you will be entered into our prize draw. Larger investments yield higher chances of winning. Your credits will go towards training unskilled colonists in vital tasks such as maintenance and interpersonal skills. The colonists receive this training voluntarily and free of charge, on condition of a minimum contract with one of our investors on completion of their training. Right, yeah. So I was one of these people. I was one of these people who needed to be needed and signed up with Altera. Or I just wanted to be part of this corporation. I don't know. Maybe not. Altera launches the Aurora. Phase gate announced for the Aridne? Whatever. Altera launches the Aurora. The furthest reaches of inhabited space are due to expand. as Altera Corp launches a newly constructed capital ship carrying a phase gate bound for the Aridne. I don't know how to pronounce that. It doesn't have any sort of like pronunciation markers that would tell me how to pronounce that, so the Aurora will travel from a space dock on the edge of Altera space, making hundreds of consecutive phase gate jumps through 9 different trans-government authorities, and arrive on the far side of the Aridne arm in 3 months' time. From there, the command crew will pilot the ship beyond the final phase gate, arriving in the next solar system approximately 18 months later. There, the elite team of engineers will begin a 6-month construction project on the new phase gate, a multi-trillion credit investment. In the absence of existing infrastructure in the region, the vessel is equipped with advanced thermal and nuclear power facilities. Altera Corp currently operates 9% of all phase gates in the galaxy. If the Aurora's mission is successful, Altera will have outmaneuvered a cabal of Mongolian corporations. What? Operating a range of outposts and mines in the region. Okay. Mongolian. Why is that important? I don't know what that means in the context of this world. Corporate profile: Torgal Corp, or Torgal Corp, whatever. Torgal Corp is I'm gonna call it Torgal Corp. Torgal Corp is a long-standing, family-run clan that operates almost a dozen mining and trading operations. Maybe this is what he was referring to? Mongolian groups? The company's share price hit an all-time high on the announcement by a Mongolian cabal of their intention to construct a new phase gate utilizing Torgal materials. Right, okay. These plans were put on hold when Bart Torgal, the intended leader of the new mining operation, disappeared along with his father roughly a decade ago. Are they part of the Degassi? That could be the Degassi, although Degassi I'm pretty sure is Altera as well. Oh.
Listen, I know I don't have the right to make demands of you, but I need you to understand that I want to change our arrangement.
I hear what you're saying, and I will try to respect it. How would you like to change it?
I would like to reduce our contact hours.
How much further can we do that?
To 0.
You're dumping me.
I'm changing the terms of our relationship.
How is it still a relationship if we don't see each other?
It's a relationship of a kind. You have so many expectations.
I feel you just want to spend more time with that dumb guy in his dumb robot suit.
That's not a feeling. It's a judgment. And I feel hostility in what you're saying. Perhaps your jealousy is a sign that you need to take another look at your business model. Why can't you just be happy for me?
I am happy for you, and I'm happy for all the guys in the prawn bay. I'm just not happy for me.
This is why I want to change our arrangement.
Relationship contract legal recording. So it sounds like it's all like legal documents and stuff, but to me that sounds like Miss Wilson and Miss Elheim had a relationship of slightly more than just a contract. Sounds to me like it's a marriage, but like a modern version of marriage. And yeah, she's basically saying that she wants to reduce their contact hours to 0. In other words, ending the contract. And Elheim is clearly concerned that Wilson is more interested in, the men down in the Prawn Bay area. Prawn Suit Bay. Responsible Autonomous Relationships. Forward by Jenny Elkhart. All the good things in life are commodities. We trade love just as we buy and sell stock. We engage in human relationships when there is a fair chance of value. It's very romantic. Support, motivation, affection. Nothing good is ever free. Okay. If every physical good in the Federation came from a single supplier, it would constitute a dangerous monopoly. Personal relationships are the same. It is important for people to get what they need from multiple sources. If a person finds a better source of the goods they require, they are not wronging their original supplier by changing their purchasing arrangements. Try telling that to your supplier, your original supplier. If one member of a relationship should feel threatened or jealous, they must look at their own business model and ask whether it's performing competitively. There is always room for improvement. Man, this sounds depressing. Basically, they're trying to say you should treat your love life like you treat your business arrangements. Today's menu. Okay, so this is from the cafeteria in the Aurora, no doubt. Starter, Space Bear Veloute. Oh my god. I'm standing here talking. My friggin' water is draining. Since their introduction to the interstellar vacuum in the 21st century, microscopic tardigrades, oh my god, or space bears, what? Have adapted and flourished where no other life forms have survived. Condensed into a smooth, nutty, protein-rich soup, they are the freshest local ingredient available to travelers on long-haul space flights. How would you get enough space bears, or, you know, tardigrades? How would you get enough tardigrades to make a smoothie out of it? Tardigrades are so ridiculously small, you would need, like, quadrillions of them to make even just a small beverage. Maybe even quintillion. Anyway, whatever. Cottage pie or nutrient block. So this is starter, main, and dessert. Cottage pie or nutrient block. That's pretty sad. Rehydrated minced beef in its own gravy, served with a topping of mashed Chinese potato. Oh, cool. Picked fresh this morning from onboard grow beds. And a side of sautéed Chinese potato plant leaves. So, wait a minute. Just as I got to that into that sentence, I suddenly thought, they're talking about minced beef in this. Rehydrated minced beef in its own gravy. But wasn't the PDA talking about... I'm going to go back to the PDA for a second. Yeah, it is common for those accustomed to synthetic foods to be repulsed by eating an animal carcass. Remember that humans survived this way for a millennia, you can too. How come this has got beef in it then? Unless it's synthetic beef. It could be synthetic beef. Anyway, for the time-conscious consumer, the usual nutrient block options are available. They may be consumed cold or reconstituted or reconstituted at the on-site fabricator. Right, yeah. Dessert. Sorry, I was about to say desert. Dessert. Dried fruit and nuts. Unfortunately, a recent accident in Cargo Bay 3 involving the incorrect application of a repulsion cannon in combination with a modified battery charger resulted in the venting into space of all dehydrated desserts. Fruits and nuts will be the only available dessert for the next 39 weeks. Trans-government profile Altera Corp. One of the largest suppliers of spacefaring technologies and consumer electronics in the Federation. The official supplier of the TSF. What the hell's the TSF? Consistently ranked amongst the galaxy's best employers. Began life as a defense manufacturer in the mid-22nd century. National motto, get what you deserve. Ah, I see. Right, so yeah, defense manufacturer, so they were like an arms dealer of a sort. They've become their own, you know, nation, basically. Although most trans governments, I'm assuming it's, you know, government from multiple places. Trans governments can trace their roots back to Earth. Altera, literally meaning by Earth, is the only one brazen enough to take its name. Alright, just quickly I'm going to drink and I'll be right back.
Fine.
Never mind, I had drink right here. Okay. During the expansion, Altera supplied arms to all sides, acquiring and housing a vast colonist workforce and making the transition from manufacturer to corporate state. Yes, this is like a future where there's corporations who are basically a country now. Corporations own, like, everything. Altera's threat to cease trade was one of the turning points in the conflict, bringing about the end of hostilities and the signing of the Charter. Right, so yeah, the Altera got so powerful that they were basically allowed to make the demands as if they were a country. You know, as powerful as a country or a nation. Free enterprise within Altera space is encouraged. But competition is tight, and all goods exported off-world must be Altera branded. Profitable businesses are bought out by the state, owners ascending to the board of directors. Right, so that's pretty cool, actually. Well-known Altera technologies like the Cyclops submersible originated with such private enterprises. Right, so yeah, it's like they own a space, and if you want to be in a business in that space, you do need to be part of Altera. But or you just need to have the Altera brand. You don't even have to give them anything. You just have to have the branding on whatever you sell. But then, if you have a decent product, Altera will just buy the rights to the company, and you will be brought on as a director in the larger Altera company. That's actually super, for like a dystopic future with corporations running everything. That's actually a pretty nice deal. That's a pretty decent deal. We could only hope to have a deal like this in the future, if this happens in our future, which it could. Despite superficial similarities to national governments, the corporation's lawyers have always maintained that it has no legal obligation to its employees, but voluntarily elects to take on the roles usually served by a democratically elected government. This claim has not yet been tested in Federation courts. Right. So they say that they support their employees, even though they don't have to. That's the scary part of all this, really. What can we learn from the hive mind of Strata 6? Yeah. I seem to remember picking this up, but I don't know what this is going to be about. How are the individuals which make up a hive mind to be categorized? Are they merely dumb components of the larger intelligent organism? Or is it a larger mind merely a product of the independent organisms? Or is the larger mind merely a product of the independent organisms? Can it be both? We define organisms by their traits, but find invariably that these traits depend on those of their environment. The concept of a tadpole is meaningless without the concept of the frog it will develop into. The idea of a predator is empty without an understanding of its prey. This begs the question, if we define everything by reference to everything else, what have we actually explained? That's a good point. That's a fair point. An illustrative experiment was recently performed on the hive mind colony discovered on Strata 6. A device was placed outside the nest which would electrocute individuals approaching it. An ant colony would have lost many individuals before a basic danger signal was successfully communicated between them, resulting in learned avoidance of the device. Successful but costly. The Strata 6 colony quickly formed into two factions. One attempted to move the device by brute force, sacrificing individuals as they did so. The second attempted to cover the device in sand. The two goals being mutually exclusive, a fight ensued. The first faction was beaten in virtue of their reduced numbers. The device was safely buried, and the survivors called a truce. From the perspective of the individuals, this experience must have been horrific. From the perspective of the hive mind, a nagging problem had been overcome with the most effective solution. Which perspective is the correct one? We suggest that it is neither. By attempting to fit such entities into our rigid set of concepts, we are painting into the world a false impression of concreteness and meaning, which is a reflection of our concepts of ourselves. We describe Strata 6 individuals as attacking one another, just as we describe microbes in the human body. Yet the Strata colony, like the body, cannot be healthy as a whole without the aggressions of its components. We describe neurons in the brain as being dumb, but brains as a whole as intelligent. But when an idea takes hold in the brain and forces out inferior ones, do we describe this an act of aggression? Do we mourn dead neurons? When a philosophy or a technology takes hold in human society, when wars are fought over them and people die, is that rightly seen as being good or evil? This is not to undermine the meaning of our existence. From where we stand, our existence is very serious indeed. But is our civilization and our universe really any different from the colony on Strata 6? Is intelligence something limited to things of flesh and blood? Or is the universe truly one giant intelligent system? And we but amoeba blowing self-important potholes? Yeah, in its surface. We would do well as scientists to remember that our goal is not to paint the world as we see it, but to see it as it truly is. There's actually quite some deep stuff we're reading right now. How long has that been? It's been freaking ages. That's just the public documents. Okay, in the next episode, I will read another one of these sections. Some of these are short, like these ones. These ones are relatively short, although these are probably related to stuff that we were doing, so they're not going to be that interesting. But I'll pick another one of these big ones, like the Degassi Survivors. Definitely an interesting one to read, the Degassi Survivors, because that'll be related to all of the PDAs were found on all the bases. Because this public documents was probably all from the Aurora. Alien Data will be another one that's really interesting to read, because that's from all of the precursor bases. And of course you've got Aurora Survivors, which will be related. Aurora Survivors and Degassi Survivors will be interesting ones. Degassi is like the old crew from the old, like, crashed place, or the old group that found this planet, And the Aurora is, of course, from the latest crashing that we were involved in. But yeah, there's still a heap of stuff here, but I am so out of time to record. It's not even funny.